Well, it's noon, so let's get started. Hello, everyone. This is Greg Foster. I'm the Executive Director of the Redwood Region Economic Development Commission, and welcome to this official public launch of an exciting project for Food for People. What we plan to go over today is talking about their plans, where they've been, where they're going, and how important they are to the community. And we're also going to see actual destruction, so that'll be exciting later. We have a lot of great guests today from Food for People staff, board members, local and state legislatures, and community leaders. Carol and Allison, who are staffers, are with the Food for People, will be moderating or getting your questions. You can either enter those in the question function on Zoom, or if you want to and are listening to this on Facebook Live, you can type your questions in the comment section, and we will make sure that we will get those questions answered to you. If we have time, we'll do it live. Or if not, you can post this and let you know later. This will be recorded and shared on Facebook, so you can relive this day over and over again and experience the joy that you will now be experiencing at any time at your leisure. But before we go any further, I'm going to introduce the Executive Director of Food for People, and that's Ann HOLCOMB. And Ann is going to talk a little bit about the project that they're kicking off today, and a little bit more about the history of Food for People. So Ann, take it away.
Thanks so much, Greg. And hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining us to help kick off this next chapter for Food for People. We have been serving Humboldt County for more than 40 years, born out of a grassroots effort coordinated by a group of people who are really concerned about hunger and food insecurity in our community. They joined together back in the late 1970s as the Food Rights Action Project and got an old van with Food Rights Action Project printed on the side and started collecting donated and gleaned food that they were sharing through a small food closet. The community was really grateful for their efforts, and that inspired them to do something that would make a lasting difference. And that's when they decided that the best response would be to establish a food bank. And in 1979, they made it official, and Food for People was born. The operations first began in a small 1,000-square-foot house on V Street in Eureka, with crates and boxes of food stacked in hallways, side rooms, and the backyard, with intake happening around a small kitchen table. As the reach of the food bank grew, they knew they would need more space. So in 1998, they launched a capital campaign and purchased and renovated the 14th Street facility. But a whole lot has happened since then, and our services have continued to grow and expand. Collectively, we serve almost 10% of our county's population and distribute more than 2 million pounds of food annually to people of all ages. We have a total of 18 programs with sites that stretch from Garberville in the south to Orick in the north, and from Eureka out to Willow Creek and Hoopa in the east. It's a lot of territory to cover in this big county of ours, and we could never do it without the many treasured partnerships we've formed over the years with other nonprofits, tribal organizations, service clubs, faith-based groups, businesses, and community members. They really help make it all possible. But a lot can change in 22 years, and we've known for a while now that the site and our aging building just aren't big enough for us to continue to efficiently and effectively meet the needs of Humboldt County. So we started work on longer range plans to revamp our facility. We saw this as especially critical in terms of our ability to quickly mobilize and expand operations in the event of a local or national disaster, and our recent experience with the pandemic and the surrounding wildfires has certainly brought that point home. We had started to raise funds for a complete renovation of the site, which we do own, but the February sewer disaster really kicked things into high gear. The damage was so extensive that proceeding with a rebuild, even though we weren't ready financially, was clearly the most cost-effective approach. So far, insurance has only covered $30,000 in damages, but we're doing our best to move forward and work with our partners. But today, we are super excited to announce that we are embarking on a new chapter that will help us take our services to the next level to meet the growing needs in our community. We've been working with Greenway Partners on design plans that will change the footprint of our building, provide more warehouse storage, double our refrigeration capacity, and provide a welcoming, dignified experience for all those who are accessing our services. And we'll be sharing more about that in just a few minutes. But with that, I'd like to introduce to you Laura Olson, the Executive Director of the Patricia D. and William B. Smullen Foundation, who will talk about the foundation's pivotal role in this next phase. Laura?
Thank you, Anne. Good afternoon and welcome Food for People supporters. As Anne said, I'm the Executive Director of the Patricia D. and William B. Smullen Foundation. We're a local family foundation founded in 1990, serving Northern California and Southern Oregon. So we've been a long time supporter of Food for People and have provided many grants throughout the years of our existence. When we heard that Food for People was starting a facility renovation that was much needed, as many of us recognize, we approved a $1.5 million grant to kick that off. And that's the biggest grant that the foundation has ever made. So it's really exciting. And we did that because our foundation believes that communities that take care of each other are stronger and more resilient. Gandhi said the true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. And we support Food for People because they've been on the front lines addressing food insecurity for more than 40 years throughout the entire county, and they do it with respect and dignity. Finally, I would just add that as someone who's worked in the field of philanthropy for over 20 years on the North Coast, I've seldom seen a better managed or more competent nonprofit organization. So I hope you will join us in supporting this important facility renovation. And we really want Food for People to provide 40 plus more years of this vital community service. So thank you so much. And Greg, I believe I kick it back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Laura. And thank you to the Smullen Foundation for its amazing generosity. And to get a compliment from Laura Olson, who used to be at the Humboldt Area Foundation and Cal Endowment, about the quality of the organization is a good one, because she's, if nothing else, brutally honest about your organization. So that's quite an achievement. So thank you, Laura. But we are especially honored to also have on today's call and to help celebrate this big announcement and the public launch, our own state senator, Senator Mike McGuire. So I'll kick it over to Mike, and thank you for joining us. It's a real honor.
Hey, Greg, how you doing? Thank you so much. And wonderful to see you, Laura. What amazing generosity, Martha. Hey, good afternoon. And I am so thrilled to be with each and every one of you on this momentous day. And I think we can all agree, we are so incredibly lucky. We are so incredibly lucky to have Food for People serving Humboldt County. You know, even in our darkest days, whether it's a wildfire, a national recession, or a global pandemic, the amazing Food for People team, they are a bright light. They are a bright light in the darkest days for those who need help the most. 12,000 of our neighbors depend on Food for People every month for their staples. And get this, 30% of who Food for People serves every month are kids under the age of 18. We as a community can rely on Food for People to change lives through healthy, nutritious food. Now they need to rely on all of us. They need to rely on this amazingly generous community to help build this state-of-the-art facility to feed our neighbors who need it most well into the 21st century. I think we can agree on this. When you invest in Food for People, you are investing in a stronger Humboldt County and a stronger North Coast. I want to say thank you so much for having me. We can't wait to see you at the Humboldt Holiday Food Drive, where Anne will be wearing her famous Santa hat in December. And congratulations, Anne, and to the entire Food for People team on this really big day for this incredible county. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. And I think we're going to share a short video now about, and this is an amazing video, having already seen it. So we'll get that going, and then we'll.
When you're like hungry, my stomach hurts.
I just feel weak. It really affects your balance. It affects the way you walk, it affects the way you think.
I can't concentrate when I'm hungry.
It's very hard because mostly I'm thinking about is food.
Many of our students, when they get that bag, the smile that they get on their face lights up. And the smile that they get brings a smile to our faces.
I never would have imagined that I would be in this situation. I figured I would be the one helping people. When I know it's the day that food bank is coming over, I'm very joyful because I need the food.
I appreciate that they give us food when we need it.
Everybody in Humboldt County needs help now and then.
Organizations like Food for People are so incredibly important because we have people in the community that are hungry. We're talking the elderly, the sick, families, kids. This is a fundamental human need to be able to eat.
Wow. That's an amazing video, and I've seen it a few times. It's just goes right to the core of the importance of an organization like Food for People. And I don't know how anyone can watch that and not immediately start to think about how we can help Food for People. And we'll let you know that a little bit later. But next we have a message from a longtime Food for People volunteer and current mayor of Eureka, Susan SEAMAN.
Hi, I'm Eureka Mayor Susan SEAMAN, but for even longer than that, I've been a volunteer for Food for People's Senior Delivery Program. Food for People is a critical resource for our community, from seniors to children to all those individuals and families in between. Everybody deserves to have enough to eat. We're grateful for the work that Food for People does to make sure that happens. Please join me in supporting them in this capital campaign.
All right. Now, let's go to the president of the board of Food for People, Martha Spencer. Martha is going to tell us a little bit about the vision for the new building and facility. Martha.
Thanks, Greg, and thanks to all our many supporters for joining us today. We're really excited to unveil our proposed building plans. But first, I'd like to give you a little background of our process. We, the board and staff, recognized about 5 years ago that we really needed a new facility. Our existing facility was falling apart, and we were packed to the gills with food and people in cramped offices. We were turning food donations away because we had no place to store them or process them. So we joined with Greenway Partners on a visioning process for looking at other options. We first looked at partnering with other organizations to find additional food storage, but that didn't work well. Then we tried to find a bigger site that could accommodate more additional warehousing, but we needed to find a site big enough, hopefully in Eureka, that was out of the tsunami zone, that had the right city zoning, was close to transportation services and willing neighbors. And after doing an exhaustive search, we figured out our existing site was actually the best site. So we decided to go ahead and remodel that one. And then the sewer crisis hit, and we're like, oh no, that's not going to work. So we realized that the best thing was to tear that down and to start over from scratch. So this first layout shows our existing site, and you can see it's kind of a long rectangle. It's along Summer Street with the access on 14th Street. And now we'll show you what our new plans are going to look like. We actually flipped the building. So where the red is, that's our new site. And so we still have access along 14th Street, but we're kind of right next to the alley. And I want to point out that green section because I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But just to give you some info on this building and what we were able to do, we went from 10,000 square feet to almost 16,000 square feet on the same site, which is pretty cool. We doubled our square footage for our staff offices. And if you'd ever visited our old facility, you remember how people were just literally on top of each other in cramped offices upstairs. Now it will be safer, cleaner, and lighter for our staff. We tripled our warehouse capacity, so we will be able to sort and store food more efficiently. Now go to our next graphic. We have a phase 1 and a phase 2, pretty much in response to COVID. So the phase 1 will have more warehouse and food processing space. It won't include the choice pantry until it's safe to return. And our phase 2 will include the choice pantry option, hopefully. We're not sure when that will happen. It'll basically be when, COVID and the concerns over COVID are gone. But so for the meantime, we will still be doing the pre-assembled boxes, but we hope to get back to our choice pantry option. So what does this mean for the community? This new design will prioritize food storage. It can allow us to accept more food donations, efficient food distribution to all our sites, and less food spoilage. And again, that's better overall food options for our clients. And our last graphic, again, that green space that I showed you originally, the kind of cool thing I will add is that we're going to actually have a really nice green space for staff and events in the future. Because we are completely demolishing the building, we had new state stormwater requirements that we had to adhere to, which meant we had to store more stormwater on site. But in Food for People style, we made lemonade out of lemons. And with the help of Greenway partners who have been wonderful to work with on this process, they developed a lovely green space that we can use to store water, but also is usable for staff and hopefully events in the future. So in closing, this building will go a long way to increase our warehouse, but we still have warehouse needs even when this is done. And we've included it in our capital campaign fundraising to actually eventually be able to buy another offsite warehouse site. So anyways, thanks again for joining us, and back to you, Greg.
Thank you, Martha. That's exciting, and what a beautiful space that'll be. And of course, more importantly, it's an important community resource. But now we're going to go out to the site with Development Director Carly Robbins, and this is going to be the very exciting part of our show today, because I believe there was going to be some actual destruction going on. So let's kick it out to Carly out at the current site. Hi, Carly.
Hi, everyone. It's good to see you. I am here live at 14th Street with our friends from Pacific Builders. This site, which is on the corner of 14th and Summer, has been our home since 1998, well over 2 decades. And now we're getting ready to start a new chapter. After working extensively with our friends at Greenway Partners and Pacific Builders, we are ready to move forward with a new chapter for Food for People. And today, we're really excited. We have Tony here from Pacific Builders. Wave, Tony. And we are kicking off demolition today. So I'm going to take you inside to our 14th Street location to get a little sneak peek. The plan is to start demolition now, and construction on the actual building will begin in January 2021, take about 8 months or so, and we are hoping we will be able to move into our gorgeous brand new facility in early fall 2021. So we are here today. Pacific Builders is doing some demolition. We just wanted to give you a quick sneak peek. All right, everyone, this is Corey from Pacific Builders. Thank you so much for helping us out today. All right, now to realize our overall goal for this project, we set a goal of raising $5 million, which is an ambitious goal, but one that we think we can make. We have already raised $3 million towards this project, and we are in a great shape to start out. We are going to be reaching out to our community members to help us realize our ultimate goal, and we're really hoping the community will come and help us. You can see right here, we have some gorgeous art by artist Antoinette Magar. It's a carrot thermometer. It's going to show our progress as we raise the funds for our brand new building. You can see we're already here at 3 million. So I wanted to say a big thank you. And I would like to now throw it over to a message from one of our board members, Bruce Wayne, to tell you a little bit about what he is hoping to accomplish for this project.
Well, that's an amazing. Thanks, Bruce and Catherine, for your generous donation. And this is just the beginning, but it's a great start from a very generous couple. And so we're going to be reaching out to the community to paint that carrot completely orange and finish this beautiful building. And so thank you all for coming today. Now we're going to turn it back over to Ann, who can handle any questions and answers there might be out there. And again, I'll remind you that you can put your questions in the question and answer link in the Zoom, or put it in the comments on the Facebook Live, and those will be relayed to folks, and we'll get those answers. Take it away, Ann. Any questions out?
Well, the first question is, will there be an awesome new kitchen for classes? And that was something that we had in the original design plans, and due to space constraints, that is on hold at this point in time, unfortunately. So we will continue to partner with other local organizations with commercial kitchens so we can do the cooking classes. Those have had to be suspended because of COVID, but hopefully once we're past that, we'll be able to get them going again. Let's see what else we have here. Will there be satellite offices for people that live far from the Bay Area? Well, our territory is really limited to Humboldt County, and that's according to both the state of California and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So our focus is really going to remain on Humboldt County.
But as I understand, you do have food distribution in the communities away from the Humboldt Bay area. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. We are stretching all the way out to Hoopa, Orleans, Wichipec, as far north as Orick, and down along to Bridgeville and the Eel River Valley, and down to Soham. So we are covering our 4,000 square mile territory of Humboldt County pretty well. There's another one here. What about the new plans are you most excited about? Oh, my goodness. Most excited about having a well-functioning building with great expanded refrigeration capacity and storage capacity that is going to feel great for the people we serve, our community partners, and our staff. I mean, our building really has been falling apart for several years now and has been kind of marginal to operate out of. So we're just excited to have a new space where everything works well. Is there a risk of another sewage problem? No, that will definitely be taken care of. That's already in the design plan to redo the sewer line and install a backflow valve. So. See, those are the ones I see in the Q&A. I don't know if anything else is coming in through Facebook. Oh, can you share what entities have contributed to the campaign so far? Yes, we have received gifts from St. Joseph Health locally, $250,000 gift to the campaign. We have pledges from the Rose Perrinin Foundation. We've had a number of individuals who stepped forward to provide support. And, you know, those have been some of the biggest gifts so far. And we're actively talking with some other folks in the community as well about making pledges. And those can be done over a period of up to 4 years too. So it doesn't all have to come at once, whatever is most comfortable for everyone. Let's see. Question about the intake process. Well, that's one of those things that has really changed due to COVID. We used to have a much more intimate relationship with the people we served, where they would come in for services. We'd sit down one-on-one with one of our volunteer intake interviewers or one of our staff, ask some questions about their household and how we might best help, what other services that we might be able to connect them to. And because of COVID, of course, we can't do that. And that's been accompanied by a relaxation, if you will, of rules from USDA, where people do not have to sign any paperwork to certify that they are eligible. So it's made it possible for us to do that drive up and drive through sort of food distribution, or in some cases at our pantries, it's walk up, but with plenty of social distancing. Masks are required everywhere. We've been able to provide masks for people that don't have one when they come to us. So we're just working on keeping it safe in the meantime. And we really look forward. I really miss seeing our volunteers and the people we serve on a regular basis, and looking forward to being able to see everyone again and say hi and check in. Let's see if there's others here. I think that's it.
And there's a couple more questions in there about making a pledge and anything about accepting volunteers. And then we'll be about ready to wrap up.
All right. Well, if you go to our website, foodforpeople.org, there are special pages there where you can make a donation to the campaign or you can make a pledge. And it's a really easy process. If you have any questions, Carly Robbins, our development director, has pledge forms. We can accept gifts of stocks and bonds. You know, we've got a lot of different options to make it as easy as possible for everyone to support our efforts. And I just want to remind people that there's nothing too small in terms of a donation. We really appreciate your support.
And I'll jump in real quick if Ann will let me. If you go to rebuildfoodforpeople.org, it'll take you directly to a place where you can make a pledge or make a donation and make it nice and simple.
There's also one last question that I think, Ann, you would be good in answering. It says, your program has been so varied and impactful. What has contributed to your success?
I think having a great, fantastic, dedicated team of people around me is the key to any organization's success, and it surely has been for Food for People. We've had a lot of volunteers who've joined us over the years who are also donors. We can't have as many volunteers right now because of social distancing and so forth, so I hope folks are patient and will come back to join us. But we have just such an incredible community too that has been so generous over the years on so many levels and from all corners. So this really is a community-owned organization in my feeling, and we're here to serve the community as well. And I did forget a couple of other donors here in terms of folks who've made a big commitment, and it has been Humboldt Area Foundation and the Humboldt Health Foundation as well. So just want to give a shout out, and especially to Smullen Foundation. We're just so thrilled. That foundational gift is what made this all possible. So thanks to everyone.
Well, and I have to add that Ann has been a fabulous executive director, being as the board chair. Nothing gets by her. She looks at every cent that we spend. We try and wiggle things around her, but she doesn't let it, so she has been very fiscally responsible. So your money is well spent.
All right. Well, I think that brings us up to 12:30, unless there's any other questions. Just to remind people that you can share this event in this live video. It will be on Facebook. So this is just the beginning, not the end. So share that as widely as you can and get folks involved. Is there anything else we want to highlight before we sign off today?
I would just say, please reach out and talk to us. If you have any more questions and would like more information about our plans, you can contact me or Carly or anyone on our staff. Our email addresses are all listed on our website. So we'd love to talk with you. This is an exciting time for us.
All right. Well, I believe that takes us to the end. We said we'd be done by 12:30, and we are just about on that. So without further ado, we'll say thank you and goodbye.